everybody, and welcome to video number 50 in my EFT series. And this video I have decided to do about for disappointment, some tapping for disappointment. And I thought it would be a good time to do it because as we are emerging out of the pandemic and with a lot of the countries changing the color and the last minute kind of changes for people's travel plans could happen, and so there have been a lot of people who have been disappointed because, you know, their travel plans were cancelled for various reasons because of the pandemic. So yeah, and another reason why I decided to do this video is because I myself felt a lot of disappointment. So I brought these plants, these tomato plants, because this year they were all very badly affected by fungal infection called early blight. And so my harvest is probably only just about half of what it would be, and at the moment I keep cutting down all my plants. If you have a look here, see that black potato, oh sorry, not the potato, the blight is also affecting potatoes, and I've got quite a few of those. So but yeah, this tomato is you know, going black, and I had to pick up a lot of my tomatoes, and I'm trying to let them kind of ripen naturally, but as you can see here, like in the case of the other tomato, they are going black. So it's a question of me being quick and picking up what I can and having green tomatoes and freezing them for the winter, you know, and things like that. But anyway, so also for me, talking about the opposite of disappointment, I'm actually celebrating, because 3 years ago I started to, exactly 3 years ago, because it was end of August 2018, I started to make these EFT videos, and I'm on video number 50, so a good celebration, which, as you will find coming out of the disappointment, can also take you to a much better place. So before I start, I would ask you all to take responsibility for your own well-being if you decide to tap along with the video and wash your hands. Yeah, when we get disappointed, we get very upset. I do remember when I was a child, I got very disappointed because I got this little frog, and my mum and dad said, now you can only have it for a day. The frog doesn't like, you know, being at home. It's like prison for it. So it's better you take it back and release it into the wild. But I got very disappointed because for me I thought, oh, well, this little friend I just got to know, I have to let go. And I had this huge tantrum. And then I fast forward in my life, and I remember having all kinds of other tantrums, even as an adult. And funnily enough, with kind of my children, you know, who were teenagers then, and they seemed to be the sensible ones. We went once to Buganing, and I just wanted to go to Buganing because, you know, we get, like, in where we live, we get snow only every 10 years. And so we were going to Buganing, but my son wanted to go for a walk first. And I got a tantrum because I thought, well, you know, I want to go to Buganing. I want to enjoy the Buganing. We can do walking at the times. So I had a tantrum, but I went with him. And yeah, and you know, I'm thinking back to my life and, you know, thinking, well, you know, I wasn't allowed to express my emotions. It wasn't safe, you know, in the family I grew up, it wasn't safe to express my emotions. And so when I had that tantrum with the frog and I started to be angry and really, and my mum said, you know, I don't know you like that. And, you know, I've learned through life that the more I'm able to express my emotions, the way I feel, tap along and release them, you know, I don't need to have these tantrums. So I didn't have many these last few years, but, you know, hopefully I will help you release any of your, you know, emotions associated with the feelings of disappointment. So take a few deep breaths, and when you're taking a few deep breaths and you're tuning to the disappointment, you know, what intensity is it? On 0, there's no intensity at all, doesn't bother me. the 10, it's really bad. So just take a little bit of time to tune in, and we shall start tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I feel all this disappointment, I did not get what I wanted. I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've got all this disappointment, things did not turn out the way I wanted them. I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel so disappointed, it's just not right that I have to face all this disappointment. But I love and accept myself anyway. Okay, so the top of the head. All this disappointment. I feel so disappointed. Things did not turn out well for me. I was not chosen. I'm not good enough. All this disappointment. But I realize this is just a temporary emotion. What is behind all this disappointment? These feelings of anger. I feel angry. I feel frustrated. I feel sad. This loss of opportunity. Things did not go well for me. I'm just not good enough. It's just not fair. This always happens to me. I always feel disappointed and angry and frustrated. All this disappointment. Things never go right for me. I always feel rejected. All this disappointment. All this anger. All this frustration. Okay, so after these 2 rounds of tapping, take a deep breath in and tune in to the level of your disappointment. So what happened to the intensity? And you know, if it went down and you're ready, we can tap a little bit more. If you still feel, we can tap to reverse it to kind of more positive tapping. But if you still feel that the intensity is still very high, or that it might even have gone up, just continue tapping on that, whatever comes up when, with whatever emotion comes up with these feelings of disappointment. And once you come to a lower level, to a lower intensity in your feeling of disappointment, then you can continue with what I will be tapping on now. Okay, so we'll just continue with the tapping of the feeling of disappointment. Okay, so at the top of the head, I feel disappointed. I feel disappointed. All this disappointment. But what if there is a lesson in there for me? What if this was meant to be? I let go of the feeling of disappointment. It might have happened for a reason. There might be new opportunities. If one door closes, another one opens. Maybe there are better things waiting for me. As I learn to deal with the disappointment, I'm discovering new strengths of my character. There's always a new opportunity opening up. So I'm letting go of all this frustration. Letting go of all the anger. Opening up to new possibilities. Connecting to more love. Learning this lesson. New opportunities. I can reach new goals. I can set new goals. I can achieve my new goals. New opportunities opening up. Thank you for all the lessons I'm learning. All these new opportunities. I feel grateful for these new opportunities. Grateful for these new lessons I learned. I learned more about compassion. Compassion for myself and compassion for others. Okay, so again, take a deep breath in and see, what is happening for you regarding, what's happening. Do you see those new opportunities? Now, I was kind of thinking, as I was preparing for this video, I was feeling some disappointment when I couldn't put the word disappointment on one line. And then I started to say, well, how should I separate it? And I realized that in the same way as the word dis-ease, which is, formed from dis-ease, the disappointment is kind of formed from appointment, which didn't go well. And I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. I learned something new. So there was something new I learned. And also, like the disappointment of all these tomatoes, which, this year was a bad year. And I was thinking, well, actually, they've given me a good idea for, for another EFT video. And so, yeah, I was thinking, well, just turning, see, this is what I'm doing, just turning everything, the disappointment into new opportunity, turning it into compassion, sort of like I learned, as I was, as a child, well, I learned, that I can't have the frog. Well, I wanted to have the frog, but I learned compassion for the frog, because the frog, really needed to go, and it wouldn't be fair on the frog if I was to keep it prisoner. So I've learned about, compassion. And I also, when I was talking about this time about when we went sledging or tobogganing, when I went with my son, so I learned, there is always another way. And if you want to work as part of the team, then I am to listen to what the others want to do. It's not just always about me, you know, it's about listening to what others want, and, you know, for people kind of to cooperate together. And, you know, another little tap around I will just going to do is that, you know, I used to use, you know, or children use tantrums to kind of blackmail their parents into getting what they want. And if this is an issue like for you, then you can also tap, you know, you can tap, even though if I don't get what I want, I throw up a tantrum because I want others to give me what I want. I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I blackmail others into doing what I want, I really want them to do what I want. I love and accept myself anyway. So even though I'm blackmailing others and I throw this tantrum because I really want to get what I want myself, not thinking of others, I just want to do what's right for me, not what's right for others. I love and accept myself anyway. Okay, so at the top of the head, you know, oh yeah, all this blackmail I use, all these tantrums. When I'm not happy with a decision, I throw up a tantrum. If I want to manipulate others into getting something I want, I throw up a tantrum. All these tantrums. Actually, these tantrums are very immature. This is how children get attention. But I'm now an adult. I can deal with the situation in better ways. I express the way I feel. That is much better than throwing this tantrum. So all this anger, letting go of this anger, letting go of all this disappointment. Okay, so that was just another way, you know, showing of what you can tap in case that is ever an issue for you. But you know, I hope that you enjoyed my video, and thank you for celebrating with me 3 years of me making these videos, and I look forward to seeing you during my next video. Bye for now.